A very good day to you. Hope you're having yourself an amazing Thursday. It is the 18th of July 2024, 19:17 p.m., 19:17 hours East African time. And this is the BHFN Thursday updates. Of course, I'm here to look at each and everything that was happening throughout the whole of Africa today and yesterday. Not much really was happening, but we're going to be looking at all the headline hitters from, of course, DRC. We have news from South Africa. We have news from DR Congo, and of course from Kenya. Kenya is always on the top of theatrics. So we're going to be looking at all that, and we're going to start with the Kenyan protest, which happened on Tuesday, and how the government is now claiming that a US NGO, the Ford Foundation, is the one that is funding the demonstrations. That was according to the Kenyan President William Ruto, who said that they had received intelligence reports claiming that anti-government protesters were getting funded by a US philanthropic organization, the Ford Foundation. So he's claiming that the Ford Foundation, of course, is a multi-billion dollar organization. It's a multi-billion organization that is from the US, and he's saying that the protests are no longer organic. He said that the protest that began in mid-June, when Ruto announced the tax hikes, that would of course have had severe consequences on the people, such as raising the cost of living. But then he went ahead and did a tax reform, did away with the first thing that he did away with was the finance bill, which was controversial. Then he fired his entire cabinet, and of course did some many other multilateral changes across the cabinet. Did away with the first lady's office, did away with the second lady's office, did away with government advisors, slashed down the budget by about 2%, which saw him lose a revenue of about 300 million, which saw the IMF scale down Kenya's credit score. So he's now saying that despite doing all those things, there is no way that the Kenyan youth are still against him, and that is why he is of the opinion that American NGO, the Ford Foundation, is the one sponsoring the demonstration. But is he correct? I can guarantee you not, because the protests that are happening in Kenya are totally organic. In as much as there might be some people who have political scores to settle, who have other agendas, but majority, I would say 97% of, I've said 97% because it would be ignorant for me to say that 100% of the demonstrations are organic. They're not, because we have some people, for example, we have people, I don't want to mention names, we have people who have had personal differences with the president, who are also taking, with Ruto, who are also taking advantage of the demonstrations to, of course. So I would say 97% of the protests are organic. Most of the young people on the streets are actually people who are fed up with the lies, fed up with the corruption, fed up with leaders vomiting on the people, because the problem is not even stealing, because they have always stolen from us, but this particular group of people was stealing and vomiting on us. They would steal, and then as we are hungry, they would come to church and donate millions. They would flaunt their lifestyle. So it was more about them vomiting on us, because, and it is vomiting on a nuanced generation that can see through all the nonsense. So he cannot believe what is happening. His advisors, I guess, have run out of advices to give, because he has done almost everything that he could have, including firing his entire cabinet. But the young people are still not done with him. They're saying that they want him gone. The protest happened on Tuesday, and that led to the Kenyan police declaring the protests unconstitutional and illegal. Why? Because they say that from the fact that the protests are leaderless, it is hard for them to control the population, the mob that is coming out in the streets. However, I would translate that to them saying that because the protests are leaderless, we don't know who to bribe, and now we have to do away with the demonstrations. And so that is what has been happening. And as I was saying, on Monday, he made an accusation that the Ford Foundation is an organization that was founded by Henry Ford of Ford Automobiles. That is I've not dug deeper into the Ford Foundation. I'm just saying from the surface, the Ford Foundation was started by Henry Ford of Ford Automobiles. I might not be surprised to learn that the Ford Foundation was not actually started by Henry Ford. That is why I've said, forgive my ignorance, I'm just reporting it on the surface. It was founded by Henry Ford. And he said that the organization was the one who was sponsoring the violence and mayhem in Kenya. I'm quoting his exact words. And he said that that money they are giving out to sponsor our violence, how are they going to benefit? His exact words again. And they're saying, he went on to say, if they are going to sponsor violence in Kenya, if they are going to sponsor anarchy, we are going to call them out and we are going to tell them that they either style up or they leave. This is about the fifth sponsor that we've had from the protest. At first, they said the protests were being financed by the opposition. People never bought that. Then they went to the people protesting at KFC and Uber Kids. Then we left that. Then they said it was the Russians financing the protests because the president has been having an opinion on the Russian-Ukraine war. Then they left that. Now it's the Ford Foundation. The Ford Foundation rejected the allegation, saying that it has a strictly non-partisan policy for its grant making. And they said in a statement that I'll read, they said, while we acknowledge the rights of Kenyans to peacefully advocate for a just and equitable country, we repudiate any actions or speech that are hateful or advocate violence against any institutions, individuals, or community. So that was the statement that they released. So he offered no evidence to back his accusations. So it was just another accusation that was thrown into the wind, saying that, and the fact that the reason he blamed the Ford Foundation was, I guess, I remember during the Cold War, the Ford Foundation was accused of supporting US security and foreign policy goals. Although still there was no evidence, but of course you don't expect to find evidence in that. So I know that the accusation was a wild one, but I'm gonna do some digging on the Ford Foundation. I don't know if Jiba Jaba and General Mosquito, who are with me, know anything about the Ford Foundation, which now the government of Kenya is blaming for financing the demonstrations, which I saw that it was also blamed for the Cold War in the US. I've not done so much digging on the Ford Foundation. Forgive my ignorance. I'm just reporting on the surface. So they might be so much below the rocks that I haven't really overturned the rocks to know whether is it true that the Ford Foundation was actually found by Henry Ford, because for a fact the Ford Foundation is a multi-billion organization. It claims that what it has is philanthropist mission in Africa, which I do not totally believe that it is here in Africa for philanthropist reason. I do not buy that lie even for a moment. So I'm gonna do some digging on that maybe, and actually look at who are the financiers of the Ford Foundation. Is it true that it was involved in the Cold War? And is it? And by the way, there have been reports that even the U.S. ambassador to Kenya, Meg Whitman, might be recalled because the Kenyan youth was claiming that after it's done fixing the government, the next place it is going to fix is the U.S. embassy. Why? Because the U.S. embassy are really corrupt. They claim it's a really, let me just report it as it is. They say it's a really corrupt embassy, where for if you look at the money that people spend on visas, it's never refunded.
Yeah, you're making money all left and right. The Ford Foundation is created by Henry Ford,
Was
car
it?
maker. Created by Henry Ford, the car maker.
Yeah,
Car maker who was car.
that's what they claim. I didn't know if it was true, but it was just another lie
Yeah,
that
now it's named after him, but it's a wicked foundation because it falls underneath the Rockefellers. The Rockefellers had subjugated
mm-hmm,
Ford. Ford was telling the truth.
mm-hmm,
Let's just up real quick, Demore, and say Ford Say Henry Ford researched the Jews. He wanted to know who the fuck was running the world too. Who the fuck is running this goddamn place? So say Henry Ford studies the Jews. So he put out $1 million study of his piece. Say, I will go find out who the fuck
in
are these people.
It was in 1920.
But yeah, he wanted to know who the fuck are these people? How the fuck are they running the world? So when he did it, he was, he found out. He said, oh, these motherfuckers ain't even the real Jews, all fake. And they had to put him and say, hey, you better shut your fucking mouth. So
two questions.
Rockefellers took him under their wings. Go ahead.
Yeah, 2 questions I have. First, do you believe that Ruto's accusations have any grounding that the Ford Foundation is sponsoring the demonstration?
Not. That's just no. They be the ones that sponsor his stupid ass. That's the intelligence is so stupid. First it was the Russians he said sponsored. Now it's the Ford Foundation. You out of your mind? The Ford Foundation are the ones. These are the bastards that create the CIA and the other shit that destroys the world. So no, they're not. He's just trying to push anything. And with him saying that, go to the Financial Times. Who owns the Financial Times? The Russia. Go to Financial Times. Say Financial Times. Say Financial Times article on Ruto and the Ford Foundation. They're laughing at his ass. You need to shut your damn mouth.
I was looking at the two sides of the story, what the analysts were saying, and I saw one analyst, who writes for the Daily Nation, saying that the reason he believed that Ruto might be correct on the Ford Foundation was on that other quote that you had talked about, the IMF does not put out fires. So he thought that
they wouldn't start that fire. Go ahead.
He thought that because the fire had already started in Kenya and maybe they didn't want anything to do with Ruto anymore, they might be the one.
But they would them on the bus. They would, but not like that.
Might be the one making the fire burn even more. That was one side of the argument. The other side of the argument.
But the argument is stupid because the argument is dumb. The argument doesn't hold water.
He's just now throwing accusations at anything and
he didn't stick the ball because his people because listen, Charles and Dr. Mumbichuk said these guys all got low IQs. That's right. They've been running Kenya for low IQ motherfuckers. They kept Africans ignorant and stupid, and the leaders are stupid as fuck. You don't know what the fuck to say because he's a moron. He's an idiot. That's the first you gotta understand. Ruto is an idiot. Okay? All your leaders have been idiots. They're stupid. So he doesn't know what the fuck to say. He's just throwing anything at the wall to see where to stick. So that's true. They do fund both sides of an argument. But this is not their benefit. Because the Kenyans are woke too much. They know that shit how's it getting funded? Nobody got no money. Nobody got no money on the street. There's no use to any money being funded. So that's a lie. And they're too scared to fund anything right now because this is real liberation. It's causing, like I said, that firestorm throughout Africa because Africans are the same. They share collective consciousness. That's why you see people in Gambia, Nigeria, all at once, everybody's waking up because you have a collective consciousness. This is science. Don't look it up. They know once you reach a certain level amongst the population, it's dangerous.
And it's actually
Ugandans
are going out in the streets in a few. The Ugandans are also planning their own demonstrations. Also, the Nigerians, the Ghanaians, the Tanzanians. So it is actually true that you
ever shared consciousness? Yep. You ever shared consciousness? Like me and Cam was laughing, the video going viral with Museveni's not used to his people talking back to him. He said, hey, you shut up. You shut up. Some kid was saying, hey, they were going against Museveni, some speak. He said, hey, you shut up. You shut up. They're so used to being dictators and people listening to all their nonsense. They're not used to people saying, man, shut up with that stupid shit. So, yeah, you got collective consciousness. So, like I put the genie back in the bottle in Kenya. Too many people have learned too much now. You can't unlearn what you see it. You can't unsee what you saw, Demore. You know, if I see you with your dick out, I can't unsee it. Your dick's out. They think, hey, Demore, put your dick back in your pants, man. But I've already seen it. You know, once your dick out is out. I can't unsee it. I've already seen it. That's what happened. Kenyans now know too much. They know too much. They know the government started to get it. Was corrupt as fuck. It's always been a thiefdom. Always ran as a corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Always. All African nations. So when they start knowing this, there's no going back. You can't the Ford Foundation and the Russian. First it was the Russians. And how they go from the Russians to the
Then it was
Ford?
the ANC. Then it was, you know,
Yeah.
it's all wild accusations and talking and talking about the consciousness and Africans moving away from that. There's another country that is always dragging us backwards. You know, it's South Africa, of course.
South
So
Africa.
South Africa today received a 1 billion USD loan from the African Development Bank. I don't know for what, for their railways and ports. I guess this is after they had that whole white government. So I think it's they received a 1 billion loan. As the rest of Africa is having talks about doing away with
But
borrowing.
yeah,
Yep,
getting the white man off their back. But the
yep.
white man is in their back. The South Africans now have put themselves back into slavery. So I say, fuck them. Let them learn the hard way. Now they want to worship their slave master. Fuck them. Let them learn. King don't say no. Fuck them. Learn the hard way. People have fought wars and died for these raggedy bastards. They ain't done nothing for nobody. Fuck them. So when they live in poverty, they say, "Oh, that's the way we live." Fuck it, live in the shit. So what?
But in their defense, they are going to dance in the streets when things get worse. That's all.
They're good. Dance in the street so I can turn that shit off.
I mean, if you look at the direction that South Africa and that other West African part, the Sahel is heading, then you're going to see one side. I always say South
What is that?
Africans are the perfect example of house Negroes.
Yeah,
The
they suffer Stockholm syndrome from
Yep,
when
yep, and the,
when you beat so bad, you learn to love the master that beats you.
the people in Sahel are the field Negroes. The people in Gambia
Did,
are the
yeah, did you
Negroes
see that? Did you
who don't
see
know where
that?
they
Was
are.
that's what Ibram told him. Called him the parlor slaves. It's the house nigga, right? Said these other leaders are the parlor slaves. The house nigga. What he called him. And then he also, you see how the AU now just threatened them. You goddamn niggas better get back with the goddamn ECOWAS. I'm a sovereign nation, and you gonna try to tell me what I'm supposed to do? And then ECOWAS is unacceptable. You put your ass back here. Like, what? You parlor slave ass niggas. Did the white man tell you to do it? You go suck white daddy dick. That's what you do. You see the AU, and they've already done shout out to Bikini Faso. Even told you, we're going to leave the AU. That's right, it don't benefit. And we're going to leave the United Nations. You see the United Nations. I remember you told me tomorrow that United Nations. You and Joe said the United Nations showed up in Bikini Faso. They did, and they told them, if you don't stop your goddamn colonial system, we're going to leave the fucking United Nations. Your whole system backs neo-colonialism. And it does. That's what it was built to do. How about that, Africans waking up? It was built to keep you enslaved. It wasn't built to free nobody. It was built for neo-colonialism. They said, if you don't stop that, we'll leave this shit. Like Dr. Eric Connor said, why is the African in the shit? Why would you be in the UN? Instead of robbing, steal, and keep African people down. What's the benefit of being in it? Nothing. So Ibrahim told him, hey, the sales states, we're going to leave that shit. What you going to do? We're going to leave it if you don't stop neo-colonialism policies and helping neo-colonialism powers
Mhm.
dictate to us. Yeah, that's what they've been doing.
And
And
K.
it's
Williams,
funny. Go
K.
ahead.
Williams agreeing with you. He's saying a big shout out to you, K. Williams, and thank you for joining. He's saying Africa is waking up. There will be no turning back. the
That's why they're scared
period,
to death.
the period of that period that we had of that period of sleep where they could have done anything to us and we couldn't respond. You know, that period of ignorance is no longer there. It's an awakening, I would say, that is coming in all the corners of Africa, and that is why,
Look,
as you are saying, if you look at the African TikTok, especially, it's going to show you the awakening that is happening. I guess that is the reason they are trying to really, really do away with TikTok. They want to leave you with
right.
the other social media apps that have nothing really going on. But especially
Yeah.
on TikTok, there's so much free speech on that app. That is
Yeah.
just an indicator of the awakening that is happening,
And
and it
just
is.
and just like Canvas has got this right. That's why
Mhm.
everybody's turning to right wing in Europe because they know without Africa, all the junk Africans pour all that shit. There's a lie. They've been robbing, stealing. Now they turn to right wing and they open to them. We can't let. We got to go to war with Africa. We can't allow Africa to free because they're poor. There's no resources in no fucking Europe. There's nothing there. But white people who don't build shit, who don't get the resources to build shit, they've been stealing out of Africa to develop themselves. That's how they got the industrial revolution. The pillaging of it. You understand? 1884, that's the beginning of the industrial revolution. When they got Africa, colonize it, and start stealing the resources. That's the beginning of the industrial revolution. Because they didn't have shit there. Go to Africa, they always been impoverished. And that's where the fuck they'll go back to. So if it's gotta be a war, it's gotta be a war. You don't got the white man don't got the numbers to put the boots on the ground in Africa and fight this war. So all your colonial shit and keeping everybody ignorant, those levels of control don't work. And your groupie religion is slowly going away too. So your levels of control of religion are falling. So you're going to have to put boots on the ground. That's when Europe will be completely fucking destroyed. That's that. Coach, it's the pendulum swings one way, back to the other. You can see it. You can't stop this awakening. I said it was coming. I said you would see it. It's coming. It's here now. It's here. And there's no way to put the genie back in the bottle. Africans will again become the richest people on the planet. Go
I
ahead.
think we give them too much credit when we think that they have. I told you, I'm starting to think they don't have it all figured out. You know, I always thought that those people who run the planet have it all figured out. You know, they are those
No,
that
they
have.
fucked up. They
I
human.
know
They fuck
I
up.
now, I now, I now think they don't have it all figured out. Sometimes they just do things because out of rush. For example, how did they not see this coming over the years? You know, the fact that the revolution has not even happened over the
They
last
saw it
20
coming. They
years.
tried to.
It has
They
not
saw it coming.
happened.
Gamora. Let me
Would you have
explain to
seen?
you.
Would you have
They
seen
saw it.
what
They saw
happened?
it coming, Gamora. Reason why you know they saw it coming, they
Mhm,
might have acted too late. They saw it coming because that's why they try to introduce GMOs. They try to keep GMOs to stop you catching the light from true God, waking up. There's a waking up process that happens through your genetics to collect the conscious. That's the reason why they started putting GMO foods so you have no
mhm,
connection to true God, the true source. They were trying to cut that connection,
mhm.
but I guess they implemented too
Was
damn
that
late.
was
So
that
go ahead.
for controlling the revolution, or was that a eugenics campaign?
It's both because
Mhm,
if you're cut off eating Frankenstein food, you get no downloads from the source, from the
mhm,
creator. Waking up is you have a collective conscious that's ruled by the creator of the universe. Waking you
mhm,
back up. Everything is in rhythm. It's the cycles. So they were trying to connect you from that cycle of awakening. They know you're gonna wake back up. They know all this. They read all your man. They know how the fucking universe works. They give you fake science, tell you to argue about fake shit, while they keep the real shit amongst themselves. But they know what's real and what's not. So they knew it was gonna be a time you wake up. That's why you got Bill Gates out here. That's the reason why they were giving you what? The shots of all these vaccinations were all of a sudden happening all over the place. That was also stop your spiritual growth from waking up. These things are they studied all this. So everybody trying to block the sun with the global warming shit because the sunlight also brings knowledge to you because it's direct connection to the creator of the universe. So they know all this. That's why they were doing that. If you know why they're doing it, if you know what's going on, you know why they're doing it. That's why they introduction of the GMO seeds. God talks to you through your food, through your fruits and vegetables, because it's through sunlight. Everybody trying to blow out the sun with the fake global warming shit. That's why they introduce you with the vaccines to fuck up your genetics. Your DNA is mRNA. mRNA, your RNA is your life. Look this up tomorrow. Say RNA, say it's RNA light code. You know, that's why it's called mRNA shot, to fuck up your light code from God, the creator. Not your fake Jesus, your fake Allah, and that fake shit these crackers gave you, the real creator of the universe. Say, what is RNA? RNA code is your light code. That's why that RNA was changing your whole code. They said now you're not a human being because they destroyed your light code. That's your connection to the creator. Why do you think they were doing all that?
They're saying that the DNA is vulnerable to damage by UV light, but RNA is more resistant to damage by UV light.
Yeah, it's your light code. As Africans, that's your light code. That's what God talks you through light. You are light. When you leave a body, you are a light being, Demore. You're light. You're nothing but light. So God talks you through light, sunlight through your food, fruits and vegetables. Why you're not supposed to be eating GMO shit. That's why you're not supposed to be blotting out the sun. Bill Gates and all that crazy, because they knew you were waking up. That's what all this crazy shit's about. It's about you. So if you understand your own African science, you understand why they're doing this. Why they try to make GMO fake food when food is easy to grow? Plant a seed in the ground, it grows. Why are you trying to make fake food? I'm trying to connect you.
We don't
trying
even
to
have.
disconnect you from life.
We don't even have. We were talking about food security the other day, and we don't even have a food problem in Africa. We just have a priority problem where we plant foods that do not really help us. We plant food for sale.
Yeah, they did that.
So we do not have a food problem. The problem is not with our seeds.
Remember, look that up.
Our climate. The problem is not with our soil. The problem is with our priorities.
No, not the priority. That's the IMF major priority. Look that up. So the IMF dictates crops in Africa. Look at IMF dictates what crops are grown in Africa. They dictate.
We end up planting the coffees. We end up planting the
exactly shit that makes you not exactly stuff that feeds you. Exactly. That's on purpose.
And now we are the biggest producers of tea, but we're dying of hunger. How is the tea helping us? I mean, I know I talked about this the other day, but it makes me so angry that I always talk about it. I know if we produce the tea and
it's supposed to make you angry. You just know now. It's supposed to make you angry.
If we produce the tea and actually sold it at good prices, then I would say it's okay. At least we're getting money. We can use the money to import food. But now they've messed up with the foreign exchange rates to a point that we sell our tea, we sell our coffee at
little or nothing. Little or nothing.
We end up being the biggest producer of, I don't know, tea, coffee, and all the nonsense. But you don't have the money to show for it. You don't have food. You don't have money.
Exactly. Because of these puppets. Because these wicked ass puppets.
I always give an example with Uganda. Ugandans have food. They have a lot of food, by the way. Those people have food, but they don't have money. That's better than other African countries that don't have food and money. You know, you go to a country like Ethiopia, for example, they're dying of hunger and they don't have money.
Yeah, but you know why? Because they done all kind of IMF dumb shit. You're right. Because
they're the biggest producers of coffee, but does the coffee help them?
No, it's stupid shit. Exactly, Demore.
Yep.
Doesn't make any sense. You know, you had dumbass leaders. That's the reason why they're the leaders of Africa, because they're stupid, easily manipulated. They're idiots, easily manipulated. That's what the white man has done. Easily manipulate these morons for these fake loans, so you know they'll eat, but the rest of the people are starving. When you live in the most irritable land on the planet, they tell you, "Oh, don't use your regular land and make GMO seeds." Well, now I'm already broke. Now I gotta pay for your fucked up seeds that give me no nutrition, right? I'm paying for seeds that give me no goddamn nutrition whatsoever. Then I gotta pay for them every year. When God gives you seeds for free, Demore, for free.
And I wonder what is the problem with our natural seeds? What have they done? I thought they were okay. They were producing good food. They were healthy.
They are
What is the problem with our
nothing.
natural
Not
shit? What
nothing's
is the
wrong with them.
problem with our cows not having artificial insemination, but
Nothing.
the normal
Nothing,
mount?
Demore.
What is the
Nothing.
problem really with what is this what is this new liking that now it is the obsession? What is this new obsession with genetically
It's not a
modified?
new obsession. It's not a new obsession. It's them. I told you what it's about. It's not a new obsession. Them trying to take control of the African food market. So they detach you from waking up, but they fucked up and also
The
destroy you.
problem is they are idiots because they are also killing their own race. Because look at America, for example. Half the people are obese, even the whites,
They
and
don't.
they are
They don't
killing,
care about. They don't care
killing
about that anymore. They
eh,
want mostly.
they're
They want
killing.
mostly. You're dealing with a savage. They want most of the whites to die. You forgot about that. They don't care about that. The whites are expendable.
As we come to the end of the show, I'll let Joby and Kamlesh prepare for their show in the next few minutes. I'll be
You're
here
learning.
tomorrow.
You're learning a lot, little boy. You're learning a lot. Might be trying to get a bullet in the head.
I just remembered they once deleted somebody's comments on our show. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah. They
The
deleted all that shit. Yeah,
deleted comments.
yeah.
But that doesn't scare me anyway. So I'll be here tomorrow on Friday updates. I hope you enjoyed this.
All
Much
right, you
love.
guys.
Make sure to join Kamlesh and Joby with the
Joby.
dance shows in the next few minutes. Much love.